Hello, everybody. I toast to you and all you do. I hope that you're having a phenomenal time. I know it has been a minute since I've made a video. Things have just been kind of crazy. So today I wanted to do a little update, kind of share a little more personal things and kind of why I haven't been on. And then also that correlates to some Magick, which was like, I guess this is a good time to get a little more personal. And I have a time limit, so hopefully I don't just ramble on. So the beginning of 21 has been kind of rough. We lost my husband's grandfather, who we were very close with, and because of COVID, we haven't had a funeral, and it has been difficult to mourn and process. There's been a lot of separation, and because his family is older, there's a lot more concern and whatnot, so it's just been a really hard time dealing, and that's been overwhelming. And then not long after that, my husband and I both had to have some extensive dental work done, and that sucks. And then my grandmother died, and my great-grandmother died, and both of the deaths were due because they're 90 years old. Well, he was 92 and she was 90. They were very, very old. They were just at that point. I do think that being cooped up and not being able to be around people kind of snowballed the dementia faster than it would have if they had been more active and doing things. But aside from that, so it wasn't like they got COVID or anything. So then my grandmother died, and then I found out, actually within that same, it was actually days, within days, I found out that my business partner and who had run an organization with has gone against our agreement when we dissolved the organization, and it just brought up a bunch of issues, both personally and business-wise. So it's just been kind of hectic. Which I guess leads me to the magical part, so we'll just go there and talk about magic. So on In Bulk, I had done some magic to reset and refresh and kind of move forward, and I couldn't figure out why I was having so much trouble. Okay, wait, let's backtrack a little bit further. Last year, Hesperitus Garden, the organization that I was a founder of, and over the last 15 years, we had got it to the point where it was an actual nonprofit 501c3, and we ran that for 2 years. It was getting very, very successful, but in this, our coven had kind of fallen apart in many ways, and then the more I wanted to practice and do things and like be a coven and do magical things, the more my business partner and other founding member wanted to do business things. And it kind of worked out well for a little bit. Like, it was like, oh, this will work, playing both fields, I guess. However, we just got to the point of irreconcilable differences. We could not get on the same page. Communication had always been an issue, blah, 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 lots of drama. So I decided for my own mental well-being that it was time for me to step away from the organization. I also did this in part is this organization really more important than our friendship, and then our coven, than our families? I mean, we've been friends for 25 years, so I had to step away. Like, what is going on, and whoa. During that time, all of the answers kind of came clear into what the problem, so really that the organization had been put first before our friendship and before our families and before everything, and it had just gotten to this place where it was no longer a healthy thing. And however, there could have been reconciliation, and, we probably, there is solutions to these issues. We were at the point on a personal level that we could not get to that point to communicate that and move forward in any way. So that was that. So we dissolved the organization, and well, I told her if this was so important to her, she could keep it and do it, even though it was my goal, like whatever. Anyways, a lot of drama. Not a cut and dry, like clean, here's the lines. Lots of drama. Anyways, so with all of that said and done, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I have to walk away. The organization has been dissolved. Everything is done with. I waited the time that we had agreed on for like the website and all of these different things. So it was done. And I was like, okay, it's done. I'm ready to move on. I am not one who typically holds on to things. I will decide, is this, what's going on with this? What am I doing with this? And especially when it comes to other people, for people who, like, I've been married before, and like my ex-husband, that was it. I made that decision. There was no like wishy-washy go back and forth. It was like, no, I want a divorce. We're done. $250. Everybody was like, wow, this is the nicest divorce I've ever seen. There was no like arguing over possessions. Like, nope, I'm done. I'm ready to move on. And I felt like I could do that in this situation also. However, there was just like this nagging little issues, little things. And I couldn't figure out what the deal was. So on In Bulk, I had done some magic and some cleansing magic, and was like, no, for real, this is unhealthy. It stresses me out unnecessarily, and I'm rehashing things. Like, is this really because we didn't have closure? Like, there was never a come to Jesus meeting? That's silly. Like, I'm ready to move on. And I did whatever. So I did some little magic and was just like, it's time to move on. And I asked for the God's guidance and what I needed to do next, and did some cleansing and, all that kind of stuff. Great cleansing magic, so I really highly recommend doing cleansing magic on all of the holidays. It is a great way to kind of reset your energy. And In Bulk specifically, while doing my cleansing, I guess, okay, so we'll talk about that magic briefly. Okay, what time is it? Okay, good. We're doing good on time. So, cleansing magic, specifically on the Sabbath, I do in the shower. I'll fast before I shower, and that can be all day or in the morning or whatever. Just kind of depends on how my day goes. I don't say, for this holiday I fast for 12 hours and then whatever. No, it's just sometimes I end up not eating before I get, it's just that kind of day. So, anyway, so I'll fast before I shower, and then in my shower I will call corners and I will cast and do a full cleansing, both physically, like literally while I'm washing and as I'm scrubbing, and I do it magically also, as I wash my hair, wash away the things that I no longer need to carry with me and keep the lessons. Your hair is very powerful in that it retains the energy and the lessons and the magic and all of the things that you've ever done and all of the other things that you've ever done. So I will wash that, wash away the things that I do not need to carry with me any longer, and help me to learn from the lessons that I need to carry, and help me to use the energy that I have to my best ability and those kind of things. And I'll wash my face, wash away my bias, let me see the world for what it is, and wash away my loud mouth, not in a negative way, but help me to think before I speak, and help me to speak articulate and to say what I mean. Sometimes my brain will get going really fast and I end up saying something like, wait, backtrack that. Let's rearrange those words, or let me, wait, that wasn't the right word, whatever. So Freudian slips, I guess, is what some people call them, but whatever. It's just my brain gets going really fast. I have to slow down. So that's part of my cleansing. It's just a reminder, hey, wash that away and slow down, be able to talk without getting tripped up on your words, and So do this with the whole body and go through all the way to the feet and to wash my feet so that I may take steps into the path in which I need to go. And on Imbolc specifically, because it's a mother holiday and a crone holiday, and this like washing with milk is a visualization that I use. I had a beautiful visualization. If I was at my house, I would show you the picture of one of the spirit guides, goddess, mother goddess. I actually think it is an Egyptian goddess, one of the earlier Egyptian goddesses. There's a statue of her with a veil over her face. I wish I had my notes with me. I didn't think I was going to talk about this. Okay, I got 10 minutes. Anyways, but she's a veiled goddess, and you never see her face. She is the mother goddess, like literally Mother Earth goddess. The quote is something like, oh, I'm not even going to try because I'll get it way wrong. But, and she's one that was kind of like whitewashed into Isis, as like an all-encompassing kind of thing, and not necessarily true. So I'm doing research into this mythology yet. Honestly, this is the first time this goddess has ever come to me. I thought it was maybe Native American at first, but you didn't see her face. It was just, she just had this beautiful veil. Beautiful, with red and gold flowers. Oh, beautiful. So, anyways, so in this visualization, I was very much cleansing. This is what I'm going for. Like, I need to cleanse. I need to move forward. And then went through my day and did a little magic. Now, I'm a big fan of Tyr and other justice goddesses. Bridget fits right into that. And with this Virgo moon and all of these different things that were kind of in the air, I was like, it's time. I am ready to move forward with this. Let me see whatever it is that I need to deal with so that I can move on and be done with this. And not only on Imbolc, but then again on the dark moon, I did the same kind of spell. Just lit a candle, anointed with my sage brush, sage brush, not sage, like whatever. It's similar, different. It's like a big plant. It's called Artemisia trindata or something like that. It's native here. Anyways, native all over the place. Anyways, so did the magic. Show me what it is I need to see, if there is something. Otherwise, just let me be. Let me move forward. Well, ironically, first, it still was in my brain every day, thinking, like, what is this deal? Like, why can I not get this out of my brain? Like, I have done so much to move forward. I have, like, so many things. So, why can't I move forward? And then, I do a lot of work on Amazon, publishing books and doing different things. And I had ordered a book that I had just published. It's called Amazing ABCs. Anyways, as I was ordering my copy, you know how Amazon shows up at the bottom of the screen and they're like, oh, this is just so funny to me. Okay, so at the bottom of the screen, they're like, oh, these are things that you might be interested in. Well, I see the magazine that had been published by Hesperida's Garden put up on there. And I was like, what? So I click on it, and sure enough, she has republished these magazines and simply taken off the logos and put up her thing. And I just, like, in that moment was like, I just was baffled. I was like, why? One, how ironic that this just, like, I'm constantly getting other advertisements for other pagan authors, especially pagan children's authors. It's a small niche. There's not a lot of pagan children's authors. So I imagine we're all recommended to each other. So shout out to all you pagan authors. Amazing. I love it. I've gotten some great books. I did an unwrapping the other day of some that I got. So cute. My kids love it. We were going through the ABC C is for Coven book. oh my goodness, my 3-year-old was like, oh, this is a kid, no, look. And it's a fun way to share with your kids. But anyways, oh my God, I'm going to run out of time. So I was just baffled. I was like, what? Whoa. And so then I was like, I had to stop and think, okay, now what am I going to do with this information? One, first and foremost, like, wow, it was like a dirty feeling. So I was like, okay, well, maybe she took my stuff out of there. Maybe she changed it. So I was looking through, they do like the little sneak peek and you can see the table of contents and like 0 changes. Really, literally just took one logo and replaced it for another. And so I thought, okay, maybe she figured because we had discussed taking her intellectual property and reusing it in any way. And, okay, maybe there's a little gray area. Do I really care? Like, I doubt she's making sales. And I say that not like with malice or whatever, but I say that because I don't know if you've published on KDP or it's hard to get sales out and you got to spend a lot of money on advertising or you got to really hustle it and you got to really push it. And I hustle and push and prod and have fingers out and talk to the community and do everything that I can to stay connected in the community. And even doing all of that and running an organization with thousands of followers on social media and hundreds of people following our blogs and all of the things that you would think that would just make it like, bam, this is going to sell. We sold 13 subscriptions and it was a beautiful process. And I'm sure if we had continued, it would have gone amazing. But I just bring that up because that's why I say having them on KDP does not mean, or on Amazon does not mean that they're being sold. So, like I had that thought, like, does this really matter? And in that same moment, I was like, it hit me upside the head, because my altar is right behind my desk. So, it hits me upside the head, like, you have been asking and asking and asking why you can't move forward and what is the deal. And I called upon Tier, that's why I brought that up earlier. I called upon Tier, I said, look, if I have consequences that I need to suffer, then so be it. If there's something that needs to be brought to my attention or brought to light, like, let's just do this and get this over with and deal with it. Like, fine. If she's got a Dear John letter she wants to send me with, like, everything I've ever done wrong and whatever, we can go through that. I guess that's not a Dear John letter. That's the opposite of a Dear John letter, like an F.U. John letter. That's fine. I would love that letter, by the way, if she's stalking me on YouTube. It would be hilarious. It's really like I have blocked her on Facebook so that I don't see her posts or any of her posts. I try to do everything I possibly can to just move forward. I'm done with it. I want to move on. And I couldn't figure, so I did this magic and this is what happened. And it came to me and I was just like, wow. And I sat with that for a minute, like, what do I do with this information? Like, she's using artwork from my mom who donated it to the organization that she doesn't have permission to use. She's using a plethora of my articles. There are pictures of with my kids. There's things that are just not, I don't want her to have them. Okay. And on top of that, being a nonprofit, the IRS has a lot of rules and regulations, and I would like to start other nonprofits in the future and not be limited to that one thing. I'd like to be able to move forward. I'd like to host events. I'd like to do these great things for the pagan community, and I cannot have some nonsense like this on my whatever. I can't have it come back to me like I did something illegal or something that is against the rules. So the IRS has a lot of rules about things that you did as a nonprofit cannot then be used to make a profit with a for-profit company. That's a big taboo. And an example I have just off the top of my head would be like, if I took the Book of Mormon. That's like if you're familiar, it's like an offshoot of the Bible. It talks about the different, it's one of those extra books, an extra religious book. It would be like if I took the Book of Mormon, and I was a Mormon preacher, and I said, I preach this, I love this, this is what I do, the Book of Mormon, and then I left the Mormon church, and I said, I'm going to sell this information and make a profit and put that in my pocket at the end of the day. And it doesn't go back to the church and it doesn't go back to whatever, but I'm taking this information and I'm reselling it. Now, this is what we have written is not whatever, but it is a religious organization that it was taken from. There are like weird rules and nuances about publishing books as a religious organization and different things. And there were also some little weird things about the dissolution because there was money owed to an organization that she owns. And so she is due back that money. Ethically, everything that's right. So we squared that up. We did the things that we needed to do. And everything was agreed on and so forth. This happened in August, so it's been quite a while. So I honestly thought all of that was done and there were no problems. So then I find these magazines. I'm like, okay, well, I could report her to the IRS. I could report it to KDP. I could do these things that are kind of malicious, kind of mean, kind of messed up, have permanent hardcore consequences. And I don't want to do that. I'm not trying that. I want to move forward. I want to move on. So I sent her an email. I said, here are the articles I wrote that you can remove. You can remove the artwork, blah, blah, very list. Like, you can't use my intellectual property. And you can't simply republish what's there. Like, you have to change it. It has to be new intellectual property. I could say the same quote 100 times and just put a different picture on it, and that would be okay. That matches. That means whatever. But she can't, whatever. So I never heard back from her. Now, I contacted an attorney, and we discussed a cease and assist, and we were waiting, and then my grandma died, and just things happened. And then I get a letter from her attorney trying to negotiate, trying to say some things, whatever. So I don't want to get into all that juicy details. But needless to say, again, I spoke with my attorney. This nonprofit law is nonprofit law. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a complicated system of this you can and cannot do. And here are the rules, and there's guidelines and dates, and these, there. So then we're going to move forward that way. But the irony of doing the magic like that, you don't always get what you want. You don't always it's not always like, okay, let me dust this problem up and fix it and everything will be hunky-dory and we can be happy and move on. That's not how it always works. Sometimes, like that old Garth Brooks song, that whole unanswered prayers or whatever. Same notion. When we ask for something to the energies of the gods or the elements or whoever you're working with magically, it doesn't always come back to you as you had pictured in your brain. Now, I was specific in my magic. I got back what I asked for. It's not like when you say, I want to be the richest person in my family, and then everybody in your family dies. Kind of fucked up shit like that. I'm sorry. But it's not that kind of thing. This is more of a, I think the kids are getting out. This is more of a, like, I called to Tyr, I asked for justice, and then bam, this is what it is. It's something I have to deal with, but it's just, this is it. And so the attorneys are going to deal with it now, and it is what it is, and it's in the hands of justice, and it's not what I had anticipated. I honestly was like, well, I'm going to find out kind of how I did something that was a jerk or whatever, or this or that, or I'm just going to finally move forward. Like, that was spiritual. I'm not that lucky. Anyways, I gotta go. Like and subscribe. Remember, when you're doing magic, it's not an easy fix. It's not, you can't just put makeup on the cow and call it good. So, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, ask questions, do all of that stuff. I promise I'm going to get back to doing more videos and that they're going to be more on magic and doing stuff because that's what I want to do. Plus, spring is coming, so I'll be able to do my garden. All right, talk to you guys all soon. Many blessings. Mwah!